Beloved heart, I invite you to sign up to my mailing list, and as a result of signing up, you will get a free gift. It's a 5D rebalance tune up of all these chakras, and chakras are my specialty. So I would love to gift you with this transmission that is filled with light language and codes to help you stay balanced and tuned up during these increased frequencies of energy of this ascension, this new earth frequency. So check out the links in the notes of this show, and I look forward to connecting with you. I am sending you love. This is the transfiguration of the new you. Hello, Great Awakener. I'm Monica Bermudez. Welcome back to another episode on my podcast. So I have a special message from the mountain in Mount Shasta. So this episode is a channel message from the mountain itself. And I'll share some more insight about the mountain itself, as well as some of the scientific evidence that's out there. So you can also look it up. Evidence that shows that portals exist on the planet, and that includes, Mount Shasta area as well. It's really fascinating and interesting information on this that I want to share. So, first of all, the mountain itself is a living entity. So, it has a voice of its own. And every time you look at it, right, it's super majestic. There's always this vibratory energy to it. If you've ever been to the location or if you ever see pictures of it, I sometimes post some of the pictures on my social media just to show her essence. And I'm going to say either he or she, but it's actually contains both energies. So you could say it contains the twin flame energy already within it. So I most likely will be saying she. So just bear that in mind as I proceed with some of the information that I want to share about this mountain. So a lot of locals would say that they've been called by the mountain, and it's actually true to this, information. And I, for one, started feeling her presence, her energy very strong the last few years that I was visiting, and her voice was getting stronger. Voice being like her energy and messages, sharing as she was connecting within my heart. And as a matter of fact, I've been connecting with a lot of mountains around the area. And even when I would visit like other locations, on the planet that had mountainous regions. For instance, like in Switzerland, when I was out there visiting at Matterhorn, was connecting with me very intensely to the mountain. And this is like one of those really high mountains. That's also another one, like pretty majestic as well. So it almost has this vibratory energy that is similar to the mountain in Mount Shasta as well. But I do remember that I felt the energy from it so strong in my heart. And there was also some healing that was occurring within myself, but also healing for the mountain itself, too, and activating another vortex that was within this mountain. And I didn't even realize that it was a spiritual, consider a spiritual, sacred mountain for some of the locals there. And apparently, there were temples that were built near it for that reason. And I found out through others who told me about it. And without realizing, that I was connecting to its energy already. And so I did felt the presence of it. And so just being out here in Mount Shasta, I feel the energy of the mountain all the time. And even when I was visiting, I always felt that it was watching me and staring at me. So I did feel the energy of, being watchful, but it was more of this energy connection and remembrance that was occurring. And so in this channel message that I'm about to share with you, it does carry encodements in it of remembrance. So if you feel that you have been calling, you have been getting this calling from the mountain itself, then this is your confirmation of that. And I'll share another story also, like many years back when I was first visiting the area and I decided to come on my own adventure. I ended up meeting so many people when I came on my own. And in one of those instances, I met this one lady who had just moved to the area of Mount Shasta, all the way from France. And the reason why she moved was because she had this vision of the mountain itself talking to her. And she had never heard of Mount Shasta. She had didn't even know where it was. She's never been to Mount Shasta. And the only reason why she moved to Mount Shasta was for that reason, because of the visions that she was receiving all the way in France. So there is, an example of how the mountain will call upon others. It doesn't matter where you are on the planet. And I do feel that mountain was also calling me, even when I was little, like 11 or 12 years old, because it's not by coincidence or chance that I ran into this one particular book that talked about Mount Shasta itself. Of course, it talked about the Lemurians and Talos and all this other stuff, but in particular, it also, referenced Mount Shasta. And I feel that in a way, that was the mountain's way also of leading me to specific books to also activate some of that remembrance within myself. And so I had been desiring to go visit the area since I was 11 years old and 12 years old, but I didn't get a chance to do so until much later in life. And so everything just unfolded in that way. And the last couple of years, I was really feeling her energy very strong and present within myself. And the part, about moving to the area was really starting to reawaken within myself. And there was this whole soul contract agreement also that was being activated as well. So those are, some of the examples of that. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Energy that, emanates from the mountain itself, just being in its presence. And even though, like, with some of the pictures, you do get a lot more of its vibratory energy as well. I will share some of the scientific evidence now, and this is all coming from NASA's research. They call this the X point. And so, coming straight from the source of their own site and their website, some of the information research that they find is evidence of, these portals and confirming the evidence of them on the earth in certain locations and to have an increased amount of magnetic force and field and how they connect with the sun magnetic field. So it's like X marks the spot. So it's really what the X point to them means is a crisscross, where a crisscross takes place. And this crisscross, which is a mingling of lines of magnetic force from the sun and earth, crisscrossing and joining and creating these openings. So creating these space of openings, that we refer to as portals. And in particular, so they did these studies all around the earth and they found these in other vortex spots, which I also consider to be chakra points of the earth, which are energy centers, in other words, energy centers. And in particular, though, the Mount Shasta was shown to have such an increase of this magnetic energy that is really unusual, I guess, compared to the other locations on the planet. And the weather itself in Mount Shasta is very unusual. It's almost like it has a mind of its own in the area. And so you pretty much have to use your intuition for that as well. And so, yeah, so the area itself, the portals themselves that in Mount Shasta in particular is connected with the whole planet. And so the ley lines and the grid system in the um, portals themselves go through these other dimensional um, uh, worlds and realms and are all interconnected in the planet itself. So a lot of energy is being received through these portals of these other dimensions and these other realms, and as well as how the our star beings, our star family also enter these portals um, through through their own, technology and all that. So, and there's been evidence of that too, of seeing spacecrafts going through the mountain. And it does have like a really interesting formation of clouds, which, it's called lenticular clouds, but they really do look like shapes of spacecrafts. So it's a lot of, interesting magic that occurs in the mountain itself. And I do share, there's another episode in my on my podcast from one of my earlier episodes where I do share some more about the mountain in the area as well. But this is, the energy of this mountain is really amazing, and the fact that scientists are also finding, some of these evidence. You could find that, on NASA site, and also in the physics .org as well. As the physics.org refers to the place where Earth connects to the magnetic field of the sun, is how they refer to the X point. So that's the scientific evidence of, the energy around the area of Mount Shasta, but also in other areas of the planet as well that have been, measured with that. And so, with this whole connection of this X point and the scientific evidence of showing that connection with the Earth and the sun, that would explain why, with all of these major solar flares that we're having, and we're having some major big flares, like the biggest one is the X class. And we've been having I think we just had about three of them, and we may be having some more, I suspect, is what I'm feeling right now through the energies. And so it's very unusual. It's unusual to see like so many of them so often as we have been seeing them for the year of 2024. And so this all also impacts a lot of the vortex portal energies around the Earth, and it increases that magnitude of magnetic field, right? And so we are also made of magnetic field, so we're also feeling that within ourselves, and creating all these other symptoms as well. So that's why it's so important to take care of ourselves right now. So I want to jump into this channel message from the mountain. And as I mentioned in my previous episode, that I've been going through these trends in automatic writing and channeling the messages that way. There will be times where I may pause only to allow some of the information, which is filled with energy codes, to integrate within us. So just know that. All right, so open your heart to this message from the mountain. I am the voice of the sacred mountain that oversees the energy of the planet. And its inhabitants like you who walk upon the great Gaia Terra planet. Through this transmission, I now speak to you directly, Earthkeeper, Gatekeeper, Mountain Keeper, and Activator. These are the terms you are known for, and feel my presence within your heart, guiding you to the one that resonates most to you. But most of all, I say to the inhabitants upon the earth that this is the time to remember, reunite, and reconnect. Reconnect the sacred mountain and portals you hold within your soul. Dear friend, it is time you remember, for this is not the first time we met. As you have walked upon the earth for lifetime after lifetime, you always came back. You carry within you encodements that unlock other chambers within the mountain that are shared throughout the planet's grid, lines, crystalline lines, and expanding us in these energies of ascension. Let's take a moment of heart to heart connection. Feel my presence within you as I now unlock other chambers of remembrance and reconnection. You will get images and sensations of remembrance. If you feel at peace and relax, then the energies are working through you. As these chambers within you are unlocking, it will also unlock other parts of my being. It doesn't matter where you are on the planet, we are always connected through all space, time, and dimensions. You will know in your heart when it's time to meet in person, whether it is through passing or to move. Now taking the time to connect to the blueprints within you. These are the blueprints in relation to the mountain and soul contract agreements. Ooh, ah, na. Ooh, ah, na. Ooh, ah, na. Ooh, ah, na. A sacred light language I share with you to intone your blueprints and chambers within. This phrase of light encodements will form a stronger bond with one another, no matter where you are. I invite you to my sacredness and embrace you with divine love. I honor you with gratitude for your presence now and great service. I bow down to you, holding you in the light and love of the mountain. So that was so beautiful. And I am honored to have shared that message with all of us. And I will just conclude there and let you be with integrating that information, which you can always go back and re-listen and feel into the energy itself. I am sending you love, and I look forward to connecting with you in another episode and see you on the new earth. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to click like, save and share with others so they can also experience what you just experienced. And stay tuned for some more high vibe episodes. And I'll be connecting with you in the next quantum field. Sending you so much love.